Hello and welcome to Rest Insured with our great sponsor here, Dave Bernhardt of Mason City All Risk Insurance. They're right there on South Monroe, 1415 South Monroe on the big yellow sign. Right, Dave?
Absolutely. We just
Uh,
had sign people over yesterday, so I want everybody to be on the lookout. We're going to tune it up. All right.
there you
We're
go.
going to
There
tune
you
up the
go.
signs. So,
Well, we
all
got a
right.
few things we want to talk about today, Dave. And as we just jump right into it, obviously, let's talk about that nasty storm we had. We had everything. We had high wind, a lot of rain. So there was even some flood damage around the area. There was tornadoes, obviously, a lot of things blowing around. How I'm sure your phone was busy,
Well, people get very concerned when they have something happen naturally. And,
right?
it's not an everyday event. So they're like, well, what do I do? What do I do? So they'll be calling. And unfortunately, these things happen on a weekend or just going into a weekend. So they're like,
Right,
nobody's at the office. Nobody answered the phone. My advice to people is common sense and communication. And the last thing with insurance is documentation.
right.
We had some lightning strikes here in Mason City that literally blew the outlets right off the wall. Okay. Came in through a big tree by the house, went down into a power pole, on into the house, furnaces, air conditioners, electrical. It just messed up. So these people are like, wow, I got to sit all weekend, no AC and all that. Document it. We
Doc-
know the storm happened, okay? And then take pictures with your cell phone every way you can. Sure, you want to turn in a claim as quickly as possible. Anytime you want to talk to your agent. But then they said, well, we'll have to wait for an adjuster to get there and on and on. As long as you keep an open line of communication, work to repair things can start to take place if the adjuster gives you the green light.
right,
And many of them will without even coming. If you shoot them some pictures, they're like, wow, let's get busy and fix that furnace or AC. So
right,
you're good to go. So common sense, communication, and
right,
when it comes to insurance, and even on our crop insurance, documentation. It
right.
seems like everybody's got a cell phone. They're always taking pictures of stuff they shouldn't. Let's take some pictures of stuff we should. Okay?
Well,
Help
Dave,
us
we've been
out.
through a lot of storms, but how would you compare this one? I guess because it was pretty nasty for some people. I mean, was it just like a normal average, or was it above or below average? You think?
I think as far as intensity of the storm, we're all thinking it was like pretty heavy duty. It was above
Yeah.
average. It got pretty black. We got a lot of rain in a short period of time, so there was driving home, there was water in the streets,
Mhm.
hydroplaning, there was trees in the streets,
Yeah.
so again, we would have sure welcomed that rain 2 or 3 weeks ago. It would have done us a lot more good out in the field with the farmers, but Mother Nature is still in charge. So
Yep.
we got to do
Always.
what we got to
Always.
do. But no, I don't. The best of my knowledge, there wasn't any huge things where lightning struck and burned a business or a house down. Nothing like
Sure.
that. But
Sure.
lots and lots and lots of concerns. So
Well, Dave,
that's what we're here for.
you got it. Bay City All Risk Insurance. Last time we talked a little bit about car insurance, and I asked you a couple of weeks ago if we could talk moving violations because I think a lot of people are going to be shocked at how you can get a moving violation. And just let me preface this by saying that if you get three moving violations in a year, I'm not talking speeding tickets, but speeding tickets could turn into moving violations. But if
Yes.
you get three in a year, you're going to have to go back to driving school to get your license back or reinstated or whatever the case. And I had to do that a long time ago, Dave.
Uh oh.
I know. I had my
Were
little
you
RX-7 back in the
you
early '90s.
were you the instructor or were you the student?
Well, how about being the student a couple of times I could become the instructor?
Absolutely. You heard enough. Like, okay, I can do this.
Right. So there are many ways. In fact, I want to say there's at least 100 different ways to get a moving violation on your record. So do you want to just highlight a few that maybe we don't know?
And the thing too is, anybody that's got questions about this, Google moving violations.
Yes.
You will be surprised. I tell you what, that's what I did the other day, and then also talked to agents. So like, what?
Yeah, I
So
know.
anyhow, like you mentioned, Harry, I'll pull up a little note here to read from. Speeding, that's a given. That's a moving violation. Here's some other ones: failure to stop, failure to yield, careless driving.
Mm,
Okay, Reckless driving. I don't know what the difference between careless and reckless is, but kind of in the same
Yeah,
boat.
sure.
Following too close.
Yep.
Okay.
Tailgating.
Be a moving violation.
Yeah.
Now, here's the bad part. You get tagged on any of these, 5 years on your record. It stays on your record for 5 years.
No, I did not
Yeah.
know that. Wow.
Okay. Drunk driving
Yep.
offense stays on your record for 12 years.
12 years, right?
Okay. So whenever you apply for an auto policy, one of the things that the agent will do, I don't care where they're at, they will apply for an MVR report, a motor vehicle report on your driving record. Okay. And if you have all these issues on your driving record, an insurance company sees that, they're going to run like hell. They're not going to insure you. Okay.
Yeah.
Until you get your act together. So
red flag. Red flags, red flag.
There you go. So again, most of the time, if you have something like this happen, and you just keep your head down, you're not changing companies, they don't have a reason to run your MVR report, do they?
No.
They wouldn't. No, they'll just keep sending you the bill, send you the premium, take care of business. Exactly. All of a sudden, you pop in the agent and say, hey, I want to try a different company. Guess what?
Right.
They're going to look behind door number 2 and to see what the heck's going on. Okay. So that's can cause you some issues. Well, the other company was a lot cheaper. That's because it was before they knew how wild and crazy you were. Okay. Right. So that's just what happens, folks.
I'm going to
the common sense.
I'm going to throw one in that I learned back in the 90s. Now, if they've changed it, they could have. They could have changed it by now, but this was a moving violation. Think about this. Okay. When it comes to speeding, okay?
Yeah. Okay.
You're if you get caught speeding in town, anything lower than 55, you get caught speeding in a lower than 55 mile per hour zone, that's a ding. That's a moving violation. So any of these 35 or 45 mile per hour, speed limits, if you get caught speeding in those, that's a moving violation.
Yeah.
The other thing that might sound shocking, because I don't think they do anything with a 55 zone as long as you're up to 65.
Okay.
But any speed limit that is not 55, maybe it's 65 or 70, whatever. Correct. Doesn't make any difference how much over the speed limit you are if you get caught over 55. And this was back in the 90s anyway.
Yes.
You got a ding for that too. That's how I got my 3 dings a year that one year. Oh, just man.
Hustling to place, right, Harry?
That's right.
And we all get caught in that. I mean, it's easy to, when I drive home, I look down, since we talked about this speedometer, and I look over like, wow, this is a 25 zone. And I'm zooming along 35, no problem. And I'm thinking I'm going slow.
Yeah.
They could pop out from behind a tree, and okay, Dave, pull over. I'm like, hey, I don't want it. It's not time for lunch. Anyhow.
I want to finish up by talking about Red Friday. You advertise Red Friday a lot here on the Fox, and you want to kind of talk about that a little bit, and also what we're going to be doing here.
Well, yes, and I recently, with everything that's going on, we started this a little bit before all this stuff started going on in foreign countries and everything with our military. But Red Friday simply means remember everyone deployed. Okay, whether past, present, whatever, got sent over there, take care of business, protect the United States or whatever. So to honor those or to call attention to it, we're wearing red. You don't have to wear a shirt on it that says Red Friday or anything. Just wear red on Red Friday, which designate you acknowledge remembering everyone deployed, past, present, or future. So again, we've got some T-shirts that I printed up and hand out, give to people or whatever, just to try to do the thing. And we're going to keep on doing it as long as we possibly can. I do believe in it. We need people to stand up in this country. Like I said, all gave some gave all.
Some gave
If
up.
you don't know what that means, come in here and I'll educate you. Okay.
What we're going to be doing here in the Fox is Dave has been so kind to on Red Friday on just before noon. We do the fantasy lunch. People know that we do play this live classic rock music during the noon hour. Prior to that, we're going to be playing a live national anthem from a classic rock artist. And believe me, we get a lot of them. And it'll all be live. And that's going to actually play right before the fantasy lunch, all sponsored by you. So Mason City All Risk. Okay, so
it's kind of a good plan you came up with, Terry. Harry, that's the direction I'm going. That's what I want to try to get back.
You bet.
Everyone is, let's thank those soldiers, the people, and number one, this is the United States of America. It wouldn't be that way without military, without all the help from all the people. So, and now we got 9/11 coming up. How quickly people forget.
Mm-hmm.
That was a catastrophe. Well, now we got another catastrophe over in Afghanistan, but don't get me started on that one. So, again,
it'll be the 20-year anniversary. It's
on
Saturday. So yeah, it's hard to believe.
And so that also, remember, that goes for our police department too. Let's have some respect for those guys. They're taking care of business. We need them.
Rest Insured here with Mason City All Risk Insurance, 1415 South Monroe. Look for the big yellow sign, and 641-423-8785 is your phone number. So for those of you on social media, of course, you're seeing that all scrolled right there. Dave, thank you so much. Always we all informative and entertaining. We try to do both here, right?
Well, and for me, give me 2 hours back to my life and trying to sign into this technology stuff every other Tuesday. Okay.
I know.
Not because of what you're doing, it's because Dave has to take 2 hours ahead of time and figure out how to fire up the computer and the camera and all that.
That's right. All right, Dave. We'll talk to you again soon. Okay.
Take care of business for me. All right.
You got it, man. Thank you.